Hello, everybody, and welcome to another live discussion. My name is Roy Nemmer of Mundo Albiceleste.com. I am joined by one and only Osvaldo of Mundo Albiceleste.com, and we have a couple of big things to talk about. What happened before the game, what happened during the game, and what happened after the game. And we're going to get into all of that, plus your comments, your questions, and everything. But before we get to it all, Osvaldo, how's it going?
It's going well. What a historic day for Argentina today because of what happened before the match, during the match, and after the match with the Scaloni and everything. That I think we're gonna start with that. But yeah, before the match with the police repression against Argentina fans one more time. It happened just a couple of weeks ago in the Boca Fluminense. Then the match, a historic win. First time Brazil loses at home in the qualifiers. We're also going to talk about that. But I think it would be good to start with this big news in the last question in the press conference where Scaloni responded out of nowhere that he might not continue as the Argentina coach.
Yeah, that was massive. That everybody was kind of still celebrating in a way after the win, and then he says that. That was very surprising, especially after last year in the World Cup. He signed the contract extension. The Copa America is in what, 7, 8 months. Then this happens. So, just to kind of quote what Scaloni said, he said, I need to think about what I'm going to do. The national team needs a coach who has all the energy. The bar is high. I'm going to think about what I'm going to do. Um, and that's a big one. That's a big one.
Yeah.
Everybody in the chat, let us know what you guys think of that. Osvaldo, that was massive.
Yeah. It was massive. I was listening to that while I was to the press conference while I was coming back from where I watched the match, and I couldn't believe it. Um, Based on the first couple of rumors, which are not certain yet, they would say that it has to do with um, a certain disconfirm between Scaloni and Tapia. That, according to reports, it had been going for a long time, and even after the World Cup. So the first rumor has to do with that. Maybe a way to ask for a raise. You'd say, I don't know. That's why we should like be cautious also, because it also makes a lot of noise to say this in a press conference after such a historic win. It doesn't sound something that Scaloni would do in these moments if there was if there wasn't a really big reason behind what he said was what you just read, that yeah, kind of he doesn't have, according to him, or he will think if he has the required energy to keep motivating their players, which is, if you just take that into consideration, is totally understandable. He won everything he could win with Argentina, the Copa America, the World Cup, the Finalissima, and it's a challenge to keep motivating your players. Um, in another scale, I think it had to do maybe a little bit with what happened with Gallardo in River, for example, that he won a lot of things, and then at one point he was like, um, I don't know how to continue motivating my players. It happened to great coaches as Guardiola, for example, in the different clubs. But I don't know, again, based on the reports we've heard and we read so far, how much it has to do with really losing that energy and trying to get it back in this couple of months, or something else bigger that we don't know.
Yeah, I would think. I mean, going back to what you said, Osvaldo, and I'm gonna read some of the comments as well. For him, it's not like he waited until tomorrow or a week or a month before saying it. He said this right after, you know, the a big match, a big win, and with everything that happened. So I would think maybe there's something behind the scenes. I don't believe if there is something behind the scenes, for example, what's being rumored in terms of what you just said about Scaloni maybe having a problem or not getting along with Tapia. If that is the case, I don't think Scaloni is the type of person that would go public with that. I think he might just say something else, which is what he's saying now. Maybe he is tired. Maybe it is the motivation. We don't know. I don't know if we'll really kind of ever know. But he hasn't stepped down just yet. He's still coach.
For sure.
The next set of matches for Argentina are in February, and then it's the Copa America. So maybe a bit of rest for him. for the next 2 3 months, thinking about it. But just reading some of the comments here, I mean, Calvin, I guess, said the same thing as well. Recent reports saying Scaloni is unhappy with something. Maybe it is with Tapia. Time will tell in that case, but this is, I mean, in my opinion, I know everybody in regards to Argentine football, as the national team, people talk about, Bilardo and Menotti. For me, Scaloni is up there with everything that he has achieved. So for him to step down, it would be huge. It would be absolutely huge. And I wouldn't even want to think about him stepping down, let alone who could potentially replace him, because the bar is very, very high.
No, for sure, for sure. Yeah, right now are the couple of the Argentina players talking in the mixed zone. Alexis McAllister just said that he, of course, wished that Scaloni continues. Based on the reports of the different journalists in Argentina, both the players and the directives of AFA were very surprised with what Scaloni said. Now Otamendi is talking, and he said that we still have to talk with Scaloni. That's the most surprising thing. Usually, um, they talk first with the players, with directives, and then with the press. It like came out of nowhere because it wasn't that a journalist asked him about continuing, because it was not even a question. Who would ask that? Like
Yeah.
you would look like a fool if in the press conference you would ask for that. And he just said it out of nowhere. And the players are surprised, the directors are surprised. So we'll see how this continues.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, he hasn't told the players, he hasn't told anybody. I don't know if maybe his coaching staff knows, right? If Walter Samuel, Ajala, and everybody else, Aymar, if they're aware, I would think maybe they are. But this is huge. This is, I mean, there's a reason why we're starting with this news and not just the fact that Argentina won 1-0,
Yeah,
or even crazier, the fact that Brazilian police attacked Argentina
yeah.
fans, and we are going to talk about all of that. But someone said a comment in the chat. I'm going to try and bring it up, but something along the lines of Scaloni built this team. He really did. And for him to step aside, you got to wonder what that would do with the players. And even more so, if he does step aside, and I know we're maybe going a little bit, far here, but do some of the veterans stay on the team, right? Does Di Maria stay? Does Otamendi stay? Does Messi stay at that point? It's a big thing. This could have. This is big. This is big.
It's super big, and let me tell you something. Scaloni is a very intelligent person, and also, yeah, based in this historic result, after this historic result, saying something like this, of course, as of now, he's still the coach of Argentina. But I honestly, this is just an opinion. I don't have any reports or something like that. But why would he say that after such an important match if he's not living? If he's actually only thinking about it, it's very, very, very weird. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, now all the channels and even us, we start talking about Scaloni and maybe him continuing or not, rather than the incredible match of his players. It's very weird.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. And it's another thing in the matter of, we have the Copa America draw that's in about 2 weeks time, in about a week and a half or 2 weeks time. And is Scaloni gonna wait for the draw? Because at this point he did say that, and it's almost like people are awaiting an answer in terms of, is he going to stay or is he not? And as you mentioned, Scaloni is a very, very, he's an intelligent person, he's a smart man. And is this his way? And this is maybe me being a little bit, cynical or stuff, but is it maybe his way of putting on the pressure on maybe Tapia or whoever, if there is a problem behind the scenes? Is it maybe his way of saying, look, I have no problem, I'll mention all that I could leave if this doesn't get resolved? Like, we don't know. and,
Yeah.
and that's the crazy part.
Yeah, and let me tell you something. I'm reading one of the comments that it says they took the final photo. It feels like an end, and I've read a little bit about that Scaloni before taking that picture with all the coaching stuff. He said, "Let's take our last picture," which at the beginning, based on that journalist, that it was a journalist from Taste Sports, Joaquin Bruno, he said that. He was like, "Oh, maybe yeah, the last picture before going back to the dressing room or just going back to Argentina." And now with this comments from Scaloni, it seemed like the real last picture of all the coaching staff.
Yeah, and that's right. I saw that actually that picture circulate afterwards after the match, and when I saw it and after I read Scaloni's comments and heard his comments, I thought, whoa, this is a little bit. It's a little bit. I don't know if poetic is the word, but it's an odd one. It's an odd one. And the more we talk about it, and the more I read the comments, and the more all of that, the more I think he's actually going to step aside because why else would he say that? I mean, is it to put pressure on the federation? Has his mind already been made, and he doesn't just want to shock people, so he kind of mentions it before? I don't know. I really don't know.
If it is to put pressure, it would be very. He should be like very very angry with the federation to do it at this moment after such an important match. Like he has to be really pissed with Tapia, with the directives. I honestly don't know if it's that or if it's something bigger. I've also read, and he said it a couple of times in different occasions, how I'm not sure if it's both of his parents or just one of them, that it's in a delicate situation. They're both old,
Okay.
I think. So maybe it has to do with that, and the energy he needs to have maybe is related to that. Maybe we don't know, but the first rumors is that it has to do with something inside, something internal in the Argentinian Football Association.
Yeah, and that's a valid point. There were rumors, I think, I can't remember if it was before the World Cup or after the World Cup at one point, something in regards to his mother, to his mom, who was, I think, feeling a little ill. She wasn't doing too great. And there were, you know, rumors that, okay, he might take a little break or something, not step aside, but, he would spend time with her. But we don't know if this is going to be something related to his family. Hopefully not. Hopefully everybody's well. Is it something related to the federation? I was reading tweets and people saying, Scaloni is going to go, to the Gulf and Saudi Arabia and get the money. I don't think it's that. I really, really don't think it's that. But it's shocking. I don't know what's more shocking. And Osvaldo, let me know, and everybody in the chat, let us know. I don't know what's more shocking. Is it the fact that he said that he might step down, or is it the fact that he said he might step down after this win? Like it was just after the win at the press conference. I don't even know what's more shocking. It's the
Yeah,
timing is ridiculous.
yeah, no, no, for sure. And at this moment, we are just a couple of months away from the Copa America. Everything seemed to went well. Even him uh, declaring after each game, even after the game against Uruguay, he never had that idea of maybe him stepping aside.
No, no.
Um, so it's for sure a big big surprise.
Yeah, it really is. We'll read some of the comments here. I'll bring up Calvin's comment. Says his comments that don't seem to come out of nowhere. It seems that he has thought about it, saying the team needs a coach that can give everything. Hopefully, we are wrong, but it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel good. I'm sorry. I do agree with that. I think we both do. And by the way, everybody, I do apologize about my voice. I'm a little bit sick. Got sick a little bit today, so I do apologize. My voice is a little bit off. And this is another one. He's going to go down in the history books. Scaloni, he took the team when it was shattered, and that's a very, very low point. He rebuilt it. He got the pillars in the team, the structure, won 3 trophies. I don't think there's any bigger coach than Scaloni. And right now it's tough to argue that. It really, really is. You know, it's again specifically after the match, agreeing with Osvaldo because the Copa is just months away now. Um, Calvin says it's all shocking, especially after the match. Ismail says it's shocking news. I mean, I think that's kind of the word of the night, even not just the Scaloni's comments, but like before the match and
Yeah,
everything.
let me read you something that Otamendi just said in the mix zone.
Yeah.
That yeah, I guess Otamendi maybe he expected after the match to everyone be talking about his goal, and now it seems that no. And he said, "We received the information like you. We will try to talk about it and see what is happening." He did not talk to us because there were many boys who had not entered the locker room, and we were not all together. All together. Afterwards,
Oh,
we will surely have a conversation. Um,
wow. I
yeah,
mean, and that's Otamendi saying it. One of the leaders, obviously, of the team. You would think Otamendi, Messi, Di Maria would really speak with Scaloni and maybe some of the other players that are close to him. But maybe I don't know what's going on. Like I don't know. Is Scaloni thinking, for after the Copa America, maybe that's it? I mean, he has been coach for, since 2018. That's 5 years, almost six at the Copa America, winning what he achieved, achieving what he achieved, winning what he won. Um, it's it's nice. It's nice what he did, but it's crazy the fact that this could really be coming to an end with Scaloni in charge.
For sure,
Um,
for sure.
so we still have a game to talk about. And I feel like we're going to come back to Scaloni's comments at some point, but we do have a game to talk about. I'm going to throw it to you as well. Do you want to talk about the game first, or do you want to talk about what happened before the game?
Yeah, maybe we can start chronologically.
Sure.
I know we've been talking, and I think this live we're gonna talk more about the extra football, the things that happen outside of the real game.
Yeah.
But I think it's just what happened today, and yeah, it started with um, a police repression against the Argentina fans. I'm sure many of the people that are watching us right now have seen in social media all the repression against the Argentinians. Um, the way it started based on the videos was both Brazilians and Argentinians fans just colliding together. There was probably uh, not a good organization from the stadium, from Rio's police, and yeah, and then as it happened when with Boca and Fluminense fans just a couple of weeks ago, um, the Brazilian police usually is very aggressive and against the never against the locals ones, always against in this case Argentina. And it happened with Boca. It happened now today with Argentina, and it also happened with another some other teams from Argentina like Argentinos Junior, River Plate. So it's more of the same.
Yeah, it's and the crazy part about that, and it has nothing to do with the players. I don't think this was intentionally done. I don't think the Brazilian Federation is behind this. But what is crazy is the fact that, as you mentioned, the structure, the way the seating was made. I mean, you had Argentina fans, like hundreds and thousands of them, sitting among Brazilian fans, and already that could be a problem in and of itself. And then you get the Brazilian police do that, and like you said, just what 2 3 weeks after the Copa Libertadores match at the same stadium, involving an Argentine team. Um, and I'll be honest, I don't know about you, Osvaldo, and everybody in the chat as well. Let us know, but when Messi was waving his finger like this and went to the back, I really thought this is it. Like the match is not going to be played. I really thought the match was not going to be played because it was only getting worse at that point. Did you
Yeah,
ever think the match was going to get completely stopped like last time, or did you think the team would come back out?
for sure. No, I thought the same that you thought, because yeah, Messi said, "Yeah, let's go inside," and the atmosphere was really really bad with a couple of Argentinian fans already being injured. Then Messi, after the game, he said that it was never the intention to actually not play the game. It was just a way to calm things down. Just wait a couple of minutes. He said that, and also Scaloni, that many of the Argentina players' relatives were in like that area, and they didn't know if they were actually in that area or even just a little bit above. So that's why the Argentina players ran there. There's an image where Dibu Martinez also tried to fight against the Brazilian police. But yeah, at some point, I really thought that it was not gonna be played, and I was surprised when Argentina players came back again to the field.
Yeah. No, I'm the same thing as you, Osvaldo. When I saw the players leave, and then at one point we saw the players actually go into the locker room, not just leave the pitch, but into the locker room. And I thought, okay, this is like it's not going to happen. It's going to be the same thing from 2 years ago now when Argentina played Brazil and the match was stopped after 5 minutes. But I was very surprised. I was surprised when the players came back out, and even when the players came back out, there was still for example, like Messi and Marquinhos were teammates at PSG, so there was that camaraderie, Di Maria, Marquinhos, and Paredes, and some others. But there was like an altercation between Rodrigo, what he told Messi, and Messi's replying to Rodrigo. So essentially, Rodrigo telling Messi or calling Messi and Argentina cowards for not wanting to stay. And Messi said, "How are we cowards? We're world champions." Like kind of watch your mouth. So the tensions were high, not just off the pitch, but literally on the pitch in between some of the players. And I know we're gonna talk a little bit about the match, but I was surprised we only had one red card. I thought we'd get a lot more.
Yeah, yeah. And then we're gonna talk about if maybe that record was well awarded or not. But yeah, even there, yeah, Messi and De Paul literally always trying to fight everyone. Which in this case, I think it was good.
Yeah,
Um, because also I remember that happened. I don't know if you remember or if you guys remember in a Copa Sudamericana between Tigre and Sao Paulo in Morumbi, that it was they went to the halftime and the police entered the dressing room from Tigre that are from
yeah,
Argentina, and they start also the police start being aggressive with the Tigre players, and always the posture of the Brazilian players in that case and today, it was like, oh, okay, we just stay here in the field and let's play. It's just soccer, it's just football, and it doesn't work like that. I don't tell you that you should go and help the Argentinians and hug them, and no, but at least just try to empathize, like a little bit at least, and not call us cowards because we're just trying to protect our fans.
yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. To be fair, and I do agree with you. I only saw one Brazilian. I could be wrong, but I only saw one Brazilian. Trying to calm everything down. That was actually Marquinhos. Like, there's a video when Argentina are jumping, going towards the fans and security. I think Marquinhos was the one trying to stop things. But yeah, I mean, it's not the first time. I think even recently, last year, the year before, I think it was Boca, and you saw like Marcos Rojo. I think it was. I wasn't even in Argentina. I was in Brazil, if I'm not mistaken. There
Brazil.
was an incident. So again, we said it yesterday. That it's just a rivalry on the pitch. There's no hatred off the pitch. So like, there's really no need for for all this violence, so to speak, especially when it's fans. You know what I mean? And it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not a good look for Brazil.
No, no, and for the world, and that's what Scaloni kind of said. And it's systematic. And I'm reading Calvin Dino that it says that it's not a coincidence that this keeps happening in Brazil. It's embarrassing. And yeah, the thing is not that it's the first time that it happens and that, oh, it's because Argentina fans are like that all over the world. No, no. We only have this problem when we go to Brazil.
Yeah,
Only.
yeah,
It doesn't happen in other places. And Argentina fans are everywhere. Um,
yeah,
so yeah, it's something from them against us. And then there's another thing behind that. Maybe it's not good to discuss here, but yeah, it's all the racism that they say we have
yeah,
against them. But then when they do gestures, like breaking the pesos or whatever, we can do anything. So
yeah,
it's even, I think, more profound. But yeah, the just the main thing of the police being aggressive with the Argentina fans and nothing with the Brazilian fans is something that is being constant throughout the years.
yeah. It is, it is, and no, obviously we're not saying. I don't think anyone here is saying. I'm not saying it. You're not saying it. No one in the chat is saying. We're not saying. Well, if you attacked Argentina fans, you have to attack Brazilian fans. It's don't even
No.
attack fans. There's no point. It's the fans are there. They're there's you make some there's some chance, and those are always cool. There's always fun. But at the end of the day, as a Brazilian police officer, you're attacking the rivals. That's a little bit much, in my opinion.
Yeah, you want me to read what Messi posted on
Absolutely.
social media because he posted just a little bit
Just now,
ago. I'm trying to
let's do
translate it.
it.
So yeah, so he said, this team continues to make history. Great victory at the Maracanã, although it will be marked by the repression of Argentines once again in Brazil. This cannot be tolerated. It's crazy and it has to end now.
Wow, wow, and I don't know. Excuse me. Thank you for that, Osvaldo. When you get someone like Messi, right? Literally one of the faces, one of the stars, if not the biggest star of the sport, come out and say something like that, that's going to make headlines, right? The last time Argentina played Brazil in Brazil, a World Cup qualifier, and the match was stopped after a couple of minutes, it made worldwide news. The biggest news outlets in the world all spoke about it. I can guarantee you the biggest news outlets in the world are going to be talking about this as well. So when you get someone like Messi come out and say that, this has to stop, it's not making Brazil or the Brazilian authorities or whoever it is, it's not making them look good. And credit to Messi, credit to the team as well for just completely stepping up and protecting their fans, protecting their family, and saying, "Look, we're not going to do this. We're not going to be part of this."
Yeah, Yeah, for sure. And it's not the first time that Messi speaks up against. In this case, I don't know if it's Conmebol.
Yeah, you're talking about the Copa America. I think Osvaldo's talking about the Copa America, and I think we kind of maybe just lost Osvaldo momentarily, but I think I know what he was getting at. It's not the first time Messi's spoken about kind of, let's say, the injustice, so to speak. If that is what he's getting at, we'll find out. But the 2019 Copa America, the injustice towards the team, the officiating, the referees, that was a big thing as well. That made the news. I think this is going to make the news. Rohan, excellent point. Rohan says, Messi's the second most followed person on Instagram. His influence is there. So even people that maybe are not a fan of the sport, maybe follow Messi on Instagram because it's Messi. They're going to read what he said and they're going to think, oh, wait a minute, what happened here? What's going on? And yeah, we did lose Osvaldo. I can guarantee you guys that for the time being. I know he'll be back. It's probably just some internet issues on his end. Um, and I mean, BC, we're going to talk a little bit about the game when he comes back. But BC says, unfortunately, the last time Brazil were awful in qualifying was in 2002, and they won the World Cup. Hopefully, history doesn't repeat itself. Look, we'll never know. We're still a couple of years away, or I guess we will know, but in a couple of years. But I don't think it's well. We could wait a little bit about that. We got some. Um, we got some comments here. Miguel says, Brazil, decime que se siente. That chant was going on. Osvaldo's here. We're not making fun of you. We're not making fun of you, Osvaldo. We're just waiting for you. Don't worry about it. And Godab is here all the way from Australia. So let us know, everybody, where are you watching us from? Where are you watching us from? Are you like Godab? Are you in Australia? Are you in Argentina? Are you in Europe? Are you in Asia? Are you in Antarctica, North America, South America? Doesn't matter. Let us know. We always get, as I always say this, but it's worldwide viewers. um David, welcome. David says, love from Western Sydney, Australia. What a game. Felt sorry for the referee. We're certainly going to talk about him. Well deserved. Love your channel. Please shout out happy birthday to your wife, Michelle Rodriguez. Happy birthday to her, David. So all the best to her. BC is watching us all the way from New York. Suraj is all the way from Dallas. I know John is from Malaysia. I know that for sure. Hippie J from, I just had Hippie J here. Where is he? There you go. Hippie J from New Jersey, East Side, all the way. Footy Room, all the way from Dubai. Incredible. V Room, South Korea. Krister Diego from Hong Kong. Duang from Seattle. So it's incredible. Incredible. Thank you guys for all the support. MR, thank you for joining us. Thank you for popping in. Thank you for the comments. And that's what we do here. We try and we have a discussion about the team that we love. Janet, all the way from Canada. There you go. Welcome. And Jaco Taco from Irvine, California. So we have a lot. We have a lot from everywhere, all around the world. So we're going to talk a little bit about the game as we await Osvaldo to sort out his technical difficulties, because we are live and these things do happen. What a game. Before we get started, let me know, guys, in the chat, how confident were you going into this match? Were you expecting a win? Were you expecting a draw? Or were you somehow even expecting a loss? Let me know, and you guys could say it now. The match is over, but let us know. And Rayshawn from Jamaica, welcome. Guru from Kansas. So there you go. All right. So yeah, let me know. I'll be honest. I was expecting a win, but I thought it would be very physical and a very difficult match, which is the case, and which ended up being the case. I didn't know if it would be like a 1-0, a 2-1, a 3-2, whatever it was, but I was pretty confident we would get the win. But let's see what everybody else here thinks. Rishan says very confident. MR says they were thinking a draw. Krister, always confident every single time. Rohan, believe for the World Cup, there's one coming out soon, but for the World Cup, probably towards the start of the year. Guru, win, very confident. Vroom says pretty confident for a win. To be fair, Brazil had lots of injuries, including Vinicius Jr. Sure, but you know what? Pressure's on them, and you play against who you're up against, right? So credit to Argentina. Rayshawn says Argentina has a system that's working. Calvin, We said let's hope for the same outcome as the Copa America, and we got it. So it was Otamendi, another veteran, scoring at the Maracanã for Argentina against Brazil. This time, Otamendi in place of Di Maria, who scored at the Copa America. Incredible. I loved it. I loved it. John, in all honesty, a draw would be good enough. Instead, we got a big bonus. Best way to end the year after the Uruguay loss. That's a very good way of putting it. John, absolutely. Thank you. MD Nasir says they're watching us from Bangladesh. Thank you. Thank you. Hippie J was expecting a 0-0 starting the game. Knew it was going to be all fouls. We capitalized on the chances we got. So, very confident. I think Osvaldo is just coming back. We're going to be joined by him in just a moment. I see him popping in right now. Rohan says we played Mourinho's ball to perfection. We played his style. BC, good point. Still concerned. 8 goals in 6 matches. That's a fair assessment. But against Brazil, the way this game was going to be, I don't think we could have expected too many goals. And we are joined once more by Osvaldo.
Good. I don't know what happened, honestly.
It's all good. It happens.
Yeah.
It happens. We were just kind of discussing what everyone thought the result of the game would be. I thought it would be a win, but a very difficult one. A lot of people here were confident in a win. Some people said draw. What did you think, Osvaldo, going into the game? Did you think it'd be a win, a draw, or maybe even a loss?
I thought, as I said it yesterday in the live we had, that we were the favorites. We're the World Cup champions, and we played at Brazil with a lot of injuries. Casemiro didn't play, Vinicius didn't play, Danilo, and there's even more, Ederson. So, yeah, I think we were the candidates. I think that if now we're going to start talking about how the game went, I think Brazil played a little bit better than us. It's not that they played much better than us, but I don't think Argentina played their best game. But always rivalries like this, like the ones against Uruguay and Brazil, there's not much you can do to really show a great level. It's basically fighting and fighting, and even more after what happened in the beginning of the game, and just how aggressive were Brazilian players too. These are the matches that you have to win and then see if you play well or not. But you had to win it, and we did. We did, and that's the important thing, right?
Yeah. No, it is. It is. Argentina, I don't think were maybe able to really play their game, and I think Messi said that too. But in a match like this in Brazil, I don't think any team would have really been able to play their game. And Brazil they were fouling from the very start, and I was having flashbacks. And for those that remember, please let me know if you guys remember this. Osvaldo, let me know as well. The early fouls reminded me of the 2007 Copa America final, where every time Riquelme got the ball, Brazil were rotating fouls on him. Like every minute, someone different was fouling him, so there were no yellow cards really given out. And this reminded me in the first 5 minutes, Brazil had maybe 2 fouls, 3 fouls, and you could tell they were just trying to not let Argentina play their game and maybe try and get them on the counter with some speed. But yeah, it was difficult for Argentina to play their game.
Yeah, it reminded me actually how Argentina played against Brazil in the 2021 Copa America in that final, where Argentina was very aggressive, especially against Neymar. So yeah, I remember that. And at the beginning of the game, I'm gonna be honest, I was kind of protesting on how many fouls Brazil was doing. But then it's also true that it depends. Like when your team do it, it's like, oh, we're a great team that fights, and then when the other team does it, you're like, so we have to be fair, and it's a valid way of playing. Of course, then Brazil saw that they showed them a red card, and it was even more difficult for them to tie the match. So it's part of the risk of playing that way. But yeah, it was very, very, very difficult for Argentinians. Midfielders, I would say, especially to build up the play and really start passing the ball. And there were a lot of mistakes in that area of the field.
Yeah, a lot of mistakes from both sides. I think from Argentina and from Brazil, no team really in midfield was able to, move the ball. Brazil tried to attack the wings very, very often. I remember in the first half they were attacking down Molina's side pretty often, I think, and then in the second half they were attacking more towards Acuna. But yeah, it was tough for anybody to get the ball going. There's a comment here from where was it? There you go. Calvin. Calvin says Scaloni just posted a picture on Instagram with the caption Argentina. So it's the picture of him with the coaching staff. at the Maracana, the picture we were talking about, and he just posted it a couple of minutes ago. So it's make of that what think of that what you may, what you want to think about it. And a little, hello to Macy as well from the Netherlands. We all love Argentina and its family, so welcome, Macy, and thank you for joining us. Um, and that's true. Zero yellow cards for Argentina. That's which I'm a little bit surprised, not because I don't think any of the fouls were too dangerous, but just in general, the referee surprised didn't give any for Argentina. Um, Calvin as well, Brazil pressed really well. We had difficulties playing out. Um, and Rohan, yeah, we'll talk a little bit about some of the players and obviously the goal as well. But I want everybody's opinion because I'm reading mixed opinions, I guess, when it comes to De Paul in this match. I thought he had two mistakes, which could have led to a Brazilian goal. Those two mistakes aside, I thought De Paul was amazing. I thought he played a very, very good match. Um,
Yeah,
Osvaldo and everybody, Osvaldo, what did you think? Because I read people saying he was horrible, and I read other people saying he was amazing.
I think he played a normal game. I would
Okay.
say 6 points. He played in a position. Most of the times he was the defensive midfielder in the center of the field, which usually is a position that either Enzo Fernandez or McAllister occupy. Um, but what he always has, and that's the most important thing, and that's why Scaloni usually leaves him on the field the whole 90 minutes, is that he runs and runs and helps so much defensively and asks for the ball too. And he really can occupy the spaces of one, two, or even three players at some point. And he did that today, and he did that very well. Then, yes, with the ball and with the high press from Brazil, that at some moments it reminded me to the high press from Uruguay, it was difficult for him. Of course, it's not easy when you have that kind of press, and he didn't do well. I would say most of the times. But again, it's not his main position. I don't think he was. He's the main responsible to give like a good build up of the game when you have players like Enzo Fernandez and McAllister. Um,
And
the
Romero.
ball is, yeah, he's more of the engine that really runs to occupy spaces in defense. So yeah, I would rate him with a 6.
You'd rate him with a 6. All right. I would rate him maybe a little bit higher than that. There was an incident. Someone mentioned. I'm gonna try and bring it up. I'm surprised. I thought this was a penalty on Lo Celso in the first half. What did you guys think? I'm not saying I think it was a penalty because it was Argentina, but did you think it was a penalty on Lo Celso? Because it looked like he got him from behind.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think it was a penalty.
No. Okay.
It could have been a foul, but honestly, I don't think so. I think Lo Celso goes to the ground very easily when he feels that there's a potential penalty, but I really don't see it. Um, yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts? You think it was?
In slow motion, it looked bad. In slow motion, it looked like a foul. In real time, it didn't. Again, I'm being honest. It didn't look in real time, and sometimes in slow motion, it looks worse than it actually is. Um, would I have been surprised if it was a penalty? No. Am I surprised it wasn't given? No. And I think the chat is a little bit split as well. EPJ says no. Janet says yes. Mikhail says not a penalty. Lo Chelsea knew what he was doing. He just mistimed it. And Calvin, maybe a good summary. A good summary. In Europe, that's a clear penalty. In South America, not so much. Maybe
Yeah.
that's it.
No. And talking about Lo Celso, I want to ask you, how do you think Lo Celso played? Because here in the chats, we're reading that he was the best one in the midfield. So I want to know what do you think?
Yeah, you and I were texting before the match, and we're talking about the starting 11 and Lo Celso, and you said something like, "I wasn't expecting Lo Celso," and I wasn't. And even yesterday when we were previewing the match, we said, "Yeah, there's no way Lo Celso starts." I thought he was easily in the top three best players for Argentina. I was. I'm not surprised because it's Lo Celso, but I'm surprised because he's not getting any minutes with Tottenham. He's not starting for Argentina anymore. You throw him against Brazil at the Maracanã, and he plays as well as he did. Top three best tonight for me was Lo Celso. Guys, let us know in the chat. Osvaldo, what did you think?
No, I agree. I would include him in my top 3. and I think it also shows that uh, yeah, maybe after the Copa America and then he got injured and didn't play the World Cup, we thought that maybe with other players like Enzo Fernandez, McAllister, now Ezequiel Palacios having a lot of minutes in Leverkusen, maybe he wouldn't be having those many minutes. But I think this shows, at least to the Tottenham coach, that at least he can have more minutes with Tottenham, because today he played brilliantly, and I don't see a worse Lo Celso than the one we saw in the Copa America of 2021. So
Same
yeah,
level.
yeah, same level.
Same level. I agree. It's either he has to start getting minutes with Tottenham or change clubs, is what I think. Ismail says, his their first choice is Kuti. Guru says top three are Otamendi, Lo Celso, and Martinez. I'm guessing Emiliano and not Lautaro. Emiliano made a big save, which we're going to talk about. Calvin says Lo Celso picked up where he left off the last time he played at the Maracana, a quality performance. Krister, this is a good one. It's a good comparison. Lo Celso is the new Chiquito, so Sergio Romero doesn't need to play for his club and shines with Argentina. I think that's a good analogy. Let's not forget, Lo Celso got the assist on the goal. Did By the way, I don't know who's leading Argentina right now, but Nicolas Otamendi has 2 goals in these World Cup qualifiers, which is a bit of a surprise.
Yeah.
But I'm
I think
it's
Messi does.
Messi, maybe
Yeah,
Messi.
I'll tell you
Um,
in just a minute. I think Messi has 3 goals. Uh,
okay,
yeah, I'll tell you in just a minute.
maybe an Otamendi too, but he got the assist. Did you think Otamendi would get the goal today? I'm gonna say this, and honestly, at some point I thought I would be wrong, but I was not worried when it came to set pieces for Brazil. I don't know why. I know they're good at them, but I feel like Argentina, for the most part, defend them pretty well. I wasn't worried going into the match, but they came close a couple of times. Cuti Romero made a clearance off the line. When we got the corner, I wasn't expecting us to get the goal. To be very honest, did you think we'd get a goal off a set piece, or did you think it would be like open play or anything else?
No, so the game was very tough in general. So whenever we had a corner kick or a free kick, or they had a corner kick or a free kick, it was a potential dangerous occasion, because there were not those many dangerous occasions. Maybe you can count one from Brazil, yeah, that Emi Martinez saved, then a couple of corner kicks, but not really clear chances for both. And yeah, it was surprising that Otamendi goal. I didn't expect it, to be honest. But I think it was the way to win the match today, because we didn't generate too much, um, uh,
Many
playing. So
chances.
so through set pieces, it was a good opportunity.
It was. It really was. And credit to Otamendi. I mean, Surah Deep says that jump was monstrous. I agree. That was a ridiculous header by Otamendi. Guys, go back after we're done this. Go back and watch it. It was a crazy jump from him. Guru says Osvaldo, 100% right. All the corners were pretty dangerous. Um, Brazil, in our defense, aside from the set pieces, Brazil had one opportunity before Otamendi scored his goal, which was saved by Martinez. Um, I was worried. I won't lie. I thought that was maybe going in, but I mean, Martinez does what Martinez does, and he won again, 1-0 at the Maracana. No goals allowed.
Yeah, yeah. And I was telling a friend when I was watching the game after, Otamendi scored, that yeah, maybe against Uruguay he didn't play that well. Many of the comments was that, and even in these chats, because I remember, it
Yeah,
was that he was maybe too slow. That we need to, hopefully Lisandro Martinez comes back so we can do that replacement. And today's game wasn't that good in terms of that only chance that Brazil had. It showed a little bit of how Otamendi didn't defend that well, in that run from the left side. But well, after scoring today, I think that we still have Otamendi for at least, to the
until the
Copa
Copa.
America.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm seeing right now the max, goal scorer for Argentina is Messi with 3 goals, and then Otamendi with 2. And in the qualifiers in general, Messi is number 2, and number 1 is Darwin Nunez from Uruguay with 5 goals.
Wow, there you go. There you go. So Messi leads it for Argentina and second only behind Nunez in South America. Talking about Messi, I mean, I guess we do have to talk about him. Janet mentions it. Messi was injured throughout the game. He was not moving well, and the fact that he was substituted out against Brazil shows you that he was far from being fully fit. Um, I didn't think Scaloni would sub him out. I really didn't think so. But credit to him, he did, and maybe that shows the maturity of Messi as well, because Messi from maybe 5 or 10 years ago would have refused to have been substituted off, even injured. Um, but you know what? The team was able to pull it off, Osvaldo, even without Messi.
Yeah, no, I agree. And the fact that he was injured, I think, had to do a lot with that substitution. Uh, in the whole game, I don't think he touched the ball many times. Although when he touched it, he generated some fouls and
Yeah,
some things. Of course, never like really dangerous occasions, but he wasn't in contact that much with the ball. So I think that showed why he was a little bit injured. But it was the perfect moment to risk it against Brazil in Brazil, and now he has plenty of weeks to recover. The next Argentina match, uh, I mean, officially the it's like the good matches are the Copa America in January. First, he's aiming to do a good preseason with Inter Miami and start playing his first matches in February. So it's the perfect moment to risk it, I would say. And if he had to get injured, it was this was the perfect moment, I think.
yeah. Oh, this was the perfect time. Not playing a match for another 2, 3 months, getting him to fully recover. Absolutely. It's bad to say, but this was like the perfect time for him. The absolute perfect time. You mentioned the World Cup qualifiers. Let's kind of bring this up for a second. Well, let's look at the table. I suppose it's kind of only fair because I think there's one team that just out and out edges it, number one. So Argentina number one with 15 points, Uruguay second, Colombia, Venezuela, Ecuador, Brazil with in sixth place. If this was the old format for the World Cup qualifiers, I mean, I'm not saying I'd be worried if I were Brazil, but I would really want to try and win some matches if I were them.
No, for sure, for sure. It hasn't been a good qualifier so far for from Brazil. 2 wins, 1 draw, and 3 losses, and their first loss at home in the history of the qualifiers. Then, yeah, some good performances like Venezuela that never qualified to a World Cup, and now they're in fourth place. Today they tied against Peru in Peru.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, well, even Ecuador, that they have 8 points and they're now in the fifth place. That they started with -3 points. So yeah, it's getting interesting. I think there are a couple of teams that we already know since the beginning that they were gonna qualify, like Argentina, Uruguay, Brazil. Even though Brazil is in the sixth position, it's impossible for them not to qualify. In this context of 48 teams qualifying to the World Cup. So yeah.
Yeah, it's I mean, look, I'm happy about it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm I'm happy even though Brazil's gonna qualify. It's always good to sit in first place to a certain degree. The other thing you mentioned, Osvaldo, and we spoke about this yesterday, we did not talk about it today. This is Brazil's first ever home World Cup qualifying loss. This is the first time they lose at home in a World Cup qualifier. And against Argentina of all teams. That has to hurt them a little bit. That has to.
No, for sure, for sure. Historic win for Argentina, historic loss for Brazil. We
Yeah.
were talking yesterday how surprising was that statistic. I don't think I ever heard that before from Brazil at home. I can't believe that this is the first time that we beat them there in Brazil.
In the
Um,
qualifier, yeah.
that's another big win from the Scaloni era that also in the conference before he announced that he might leave the national team, he was asked where he would put this win. Of course, after the Copa, the World
World
Cup,
Cup.
in the in his how he values it, and he values it very high. So yeah, historic win by Argentina.
Massive. A massive win. And you mentioned the next time Argentina plays, an official match will be the Copa America. Next time Argentina plays the World Cup qualifier will be September of next year. Next time Argentina plays is in February. We don't know against who yet, but it looks like it's going to be a European team. Um, we covered a lot today, Osvaldo, and everybody. We spoke about everything that happened before the match, during the game, and after the game. Um, all that said, any final thoughts, Osvaldo?
Yeah, I mean, it was a historic day, as I said a little bit in the beginning, because of what happened with Scaloni after the game. That was surprising for everyone. What happened before the game? Hopefully, what happened before the game doesn't happen again. We talked a little bit about that yesterday. Hopefully, yeah, hoping that it wouldn't have happened, but it happened again. So hopefully for the future, Comebol and FIFA, and also Brazilian police can take note of this, so it doesn't happen again. And then yes, what happened in the game that we didn't talk that much about, because all the other stuff was still very important. But it was a huge win and a historic one.
Yeah, I mean, my thoughts exactly. Really, my thoughts exactly. It was a match I think everybody was looking forward to. Argentina, Brazil in that stadium. Brazil wanting, the revenge for the Copa America, and it almost got tainted, or maybe it did get tainted because of what happened in the stands. We didn't talk too much about the game, and in all honesty, it's not like it was a good game. It wasn't a very pretty game. It was a very difficult one, and with a lot of fouls. But Argentina got the win with Nicolas Otamendi scoring, and then obviously we got the big news, which we spoke about regarding Scaloni potentially stepping down as coach of the Argentina national team. Who knows? We might have some news in the next couple of hours or days. So stay tuned to this channel and stay tuned to Mundo Albiceleste.com. On that note, I just want to thank everybody for joining us tonight or today, depending on where you are in the world. Thank you, everybody. If you're watching us live, if you're watching us on repeat on YouTube, it's all very much appreciated. Make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notifications button. We're going to do, once we get more news about Scaloni, we'll probably end up talking about that too. But yeah, I just want to say a big thank you to everybody. And a very good way for Argentina to end the year with a win. So I just want to say thank you, everybody, and take care. Till next time.